We might not necessarily have to become somebody else entirely with difference, distinction, consciousness to basically become admirable, authentic, desirable, or successful in our lives in one way or another. But then again, if we try to move too fast or at paces never seen before, then we ultimately become the victim of isolation and social criticism from society in one way or another. If we absolutely create our differences, boundaries, barriers, etc., if we become somebody else entirely that they can relate to, that people can neither connect nor talk to, then inevitably will only be criticized, condemned, scapegoated not only by society in general but also by our people, by familiars, by acquaintances, beloved, close ones, and so on and so forth. So we don't necessarily have to become somebody else entirely for success, admiration, success, and other imperatives in life, but we are obviously what we are in our own right. We are already a difference. We are already obviously dynamic. We are already authentic, truthful, and someone with a natural automatic distinction anyway. So we are already admirable, successful, virtuous, authentic, reliable, humble in our own ways, on the basis of a natural meaning, intrinsic purpose, automatic significance, and also because of our commitment of good to each other, because of our practice of humility, understanding, and all the obviously individual virtues we have. But that does not mean we become somebody else entirely. We isolate ourselves from the entirety of society. We distance ourselves from everything and everyone and live with basically ultimately despair, disorientation, suffering, frustration, regret, and other bad things. We don't have to do any of these things because we have our differences already. We are already admirable in our own right and ways in one or another. But if we try to create too much difference and become somebody else entirely, then we'll only become the victim or prisoner of criticism, condemnation, and the scapegoat phenomenon. So we should try to avoid actually be hostile to society. We should try to be ourselves as much as we possibly can, because most of the modern society is ultimately asleep. They are ignorant, unconscious, inauthentic, unreliable, and uncritical in themselves. They do not have the degree of critical thinking we have or we have cultivated. They do not have the level or the measure of rationality, authenticity, truthfulness that we seek to maintain, that we have cultivated obviously and given by the universe. Most people do not have the quality. So we should go along. We are already admirable in our own right. We are already different in our own ways, I just mentioned, and do not have to become somebody else entirely that isolates, that